All right, guys, how's this one gonna go down? How is the final chapter of the 2023 Seahawks going to be written? And is there going to be room left open for a little bit of an epilogue? So, we've got a game tomorrow afternoon, 125 kickoff in Arizona, taking on the 4 and 12 Cardinals at 8 and 8. Have a chance to have a winning record at 9 and 8. Have a chance to still make the playoffs, actually, and have a chance to still extend this season beyond this weekend. But I gotta be honest, I'm already pretty deflated. Usually, I would reserve my deflation for after being eliminated. I would reserve my deflation for after the loss. But I'm just having a hard time getting my emotions up for this one. It feels like the season ended last week. This isn't even like last year. Last year, we went on that three-game losing streak near the end of the year. We were 1-5 at one point over a six-game stretch with one win in the final seconds against a really bad Rams team. So that was a bad stretch of football, but I didn't feel completely deflated the way I do now. So this kind of feels like a low point for me over the last two seasons worth of Seahawks football, and sitting here trying to get excited about still being alive, still having a chance, it's just not happening. I acknowledge the fact that there is a very realistic possibility this Seahawks team does get in. Like it's not a pipe dream. It's not some one in a million odds chance. It's a real chance. And understand that I want them to. I want them to win this game. I want them to get in the playoffs. I want them to go prove they can do something at that level. I want them to go to Dallas and play like they did against Dallas a month and a half ago and give themselves at least a chance to win and show me that there's some hope, some reason to believe in this current core, this current regime. But I just don't know if I'm just not feeling it. They're going to have to show me something tomorrow afternoon for me to really get up for this. So, what can I say about this game? Right, the offense should have an opportunity to explode in this game. The offense should be good. We should be able to put up some serious points, but I'm just not trusting this defense at all right now. And we might be missing a couple of key players as well, or well, at least one key player that's new. And if that happens, it's crippling, and I struggle to see how we're going to be able to overcome it. So I'm just not feeling it. So just to talk about this game specifically, like I said, this offense should be ready to eat. I'm expecting at least 24 points. And it could easily go beyond that depending on the game flow and the situations throughout the game. Arizona is missing some of their key defenders. They're missing Byron Murphy. He's been out a while. He's their best corner, probably. They're missing. They might be missing Lecky Fotu, one of their starters on the defensive line. They're missing Dante Stills and Garrett Williams, two rookies that they were depending on this year. There's some issues on that defense, and our offense. It's been really warming up over the past several weeks. They've put together a stretch of some really quality football, at least when Gino's been in there. The last three games Gino has played, the offense has been really effective. Has been not necessarily great all the time, but it's been great a lot of the time. And generally speaking, it's consistently got the job done. We're starting to see some better play from the offensive line, especially in run blocking. So there's some reason to believe that maybe we could actually run the ball this week. There's some great stuff going on with this receiver core, with JSN really kind of becoming the playmaker we were all dreaming of when we drafted him last year. There's stuff going on with the tight ends that hasn't been happening all that much this entire season. Noah Fant's coming off one of the best games that he's played as a Seahawk, period. So I feel pretty good about this offense overall. I will say that there's no trusting this interior offensive line. I thought they played pretty well against Pittsburgh. That doesn't mean they're going to play well in this game or any other game. They're just incredibly unreliable, and it looks like we're going to roll with Evan Brown at center. So I'm prepared for just about anything there. He's coming off a concussion, and we all know that football players in their first game back from concussions typically do some goofy stuff. So I'm ready for goofy. I'm definitely ready for some goofy stuff to happen out there with Evan Brown. So it's not all great, it's not all amazing, it's not all awesome, but the offense should be good. The offense should be ready to roll. Even if the interior offensive line isn't ready to go, I trust Geno to have a good game. I trust these receivers against the secondary that is weakened right now, although they do have Buda Baker still back there. He's still doing his thing the best that he can, pretty good. And they don't have too much of a threat at the pass rushing the passer. So I don't think losing Abraham Lucas is going to be as devastating as it would be against other teams. And this is a good opportunity for Charles Cross to bounce back after a pretty rough game last week. So I'm feeling good about the Seahawks offense this weekend. The problem is, this Arizona offense has found something lately, and even though they don't have Hollywood Brown, even though they are going to be missing offensive linemen, at least DJ Humphries, possibly Elijah Wilkinson, even though their offensive line isn't that good to begin with, even though they're really weak at receivers, like Trey McBride is their only really top-level threat, it feels like. I just don't trust them to stop the run. James Conner is playing really good lately. James Conner's been one of the best backs in the league this year, and they've also got a dual-threat quarterback in Kyler Murray. You put those two things together, I don't know what we do. I have no idea what the answer is, and I don't think this team has it. And I know Pete Carroll came out and said earlier this week that, oh, I was focusing so much on preventing the big play. I compromised our run defense. And he sounded like a guy who realized that he messed up and he's not going to do that again. That's great. But I'm also kind of looking at it and going, well, if he did it against Mason Rudolph, what's stopping him from doing that against Kyler Murray, who's, I mean, as much as Kyler Murray's not a great quarterback, he is much better than a Mason Rudolph, much more dangerous than a Mason Rudolph, and much more capable of big plays than a Mason Rudolph. So, what guarantee do I have that he's not going to just do that again? And even if he doesn't do that again, can we stop the run then? Can we stop the run with no Jaron Reed, our starting nose tackle, who we play an ungodly number of snaps every single week? Like, is Cam Young going to step in and play 55 snaps in this game? Because I think Cam Young's been a little bit better than expected this year, but if we put him out there for that length of time, it's going to go bad. And honestly, it's hard for me to see past that. I think our cornerbacks can handle their receivers no problem. I think that we can generate a pass rush on Kyler. Having Jordan Brooks out there is going to be big. He's important for these matchups against a Kyler Murray type. But what's it matter if we're not going to be able to consistently stop the run? What's it matter if Connor and Murray are probably going to combine for about 200 rushing yards? My gut tells me not a lot, and we've struggled with these dual threat quarterbacks this year. Look at what the Ravens did to us. I know the Ravens are in a completely different league from the Cardinals, but that kind of rushing attack gives us a real problem. So I know that the Seahawks need the win, and I know they're playing for a lot more than the Cardinals, but I cannot get past that aspect of this game. How can I have any faith in our ability to run the ball or our ability to stop the run? So, yeah, I hate to do this. I usually don't do things like this, but even after a week to think about it, that's where I am. Not to mention the fact that I feel like this Cardinals team is playing harder than this Seahawks team. The Cardinals have actually landed some trademark wins in the last month or so. They beat the Steelers. They beat the Eagles. And even when they don't win, they play valiantly. They play tough against the Niners. They play tough against the Rams. They hang around. They keep it close. They have chances to win at the end of these games. They're playing like they have something to play for. And I just watched the Seahawks get bulldozed by the Steelers' offense with their third-string quarterback, almost 500 yards. And I'm just sitting here thinking, they're playing harder for Jonathan Gannon and this completely eliminated team than the Seahawks are for Pete Carroll and a team that was in control of their own destiny until last week. And I'm like, Jonathan Gannon's doing a better job right now coaching his team than Pete Carroll is doing coaching his team. And you put all that together in a blender, and I'm seeing something like 30 to 24, 30 to 27 Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are getting this one. And look, assuming that the Packers do win their game, which is more likely than not, I'm not going to be upset that we lose if we lose this game, because there are some benefits that come with it that I'm not going to completely discount. But I know that this team is not thinking like that. These players want to win and these coaches want to win. So if they go out there and lose this game, I'm not going to be mad that we lost this game that ultimately ended up meaning very little. I am going to be mad that I have a team that is so toothless and pathetic that they can't even take care of this still bad, even though they're, tough and competitive Cardinals team, in a situation where they needed the win. So yeah, that's how I feel. I'm gonna sit down in front of this game. I'm gonna be doing a live stream of this game. I'm gonna hope we play good. I'm gonna do a watch along. And we'll all get together and hope that the team gets it done, and hope that they get the help that they need, and that we have at least one more week of Seahawks football to watch next week. But I don't feel it. I don't feel it, because this team, I feel like they really showed me who they are last week against Pittsburgh. Okay, that's enough of that. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let's get this done. And if we don't get it done, let's make some changes this offseason to find something better than what we're currently sitting on. Because this is not good enough. This is not acceptable. And I see more and more people every single week come on board with that. All right, see you guys later. Huskies pregame going to come later in this afternoon. And yeah, it's almost over, probably.